Chosen ones, you've been framed, accused of things you never did. But what if I told you that a high-level whistleblower just came forward with the truth? They have the evidence that proves you are 100% innocent. Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? Like no matter how hard you try to do the right thing, you're constantly misunderstood, attacked, and judged by forces you can't even see. It's that feeling of being on trial in the courtroom of life with accusers whispering in the shadows, pointing fingers and piling on false charges. I want you to picture this with me for a second. Imagine you're a knight from a long-lost tale, a true hero with a heart of gold. You've dedicated your life to serving a righteous king, upholding justice and helping those in need, but one day a rival kingdom full of jealous, shadowy figures decides they want to take you down. They spread rumors, twist your words, and fabricate stories to make you look like a villain. The kingdom you fought for, the very people you protected, start to doubt you. They turn their backs. You're alone, standing in the town square, while a mob of angry villagers throws stones and shouts insults. Your reputation is in tatters, your heart is heavy, and you're questioning everything. You feel completely defeated. But then, just as all hope seems lost, a figure steps forward. Not just any figure. The king's most trusted advisor, a high-level whistleblower from the rival kingdom who has risked everything to bring the truth to light. He unrolls a massive scroll, a detailed document filled with undeniable proof. Video evidence, signed confessions, and secret communications that reveal the entire conspiracy against you. He stands before the mob and declares, "This knight is innocent. Here is the evidence that proves it." The crowd falls silent. The truth has finally been revealed. That story, my friends, is not just a fairy tale, it's your reality. Today, right now, in the spiritual realm, a divine whistleblower has come forward with evidence that proves your innocence. They are exposing the lies of your spiritual accusers, and the divine record is being set straight. Are you ready to hear what this evidence is? Are you ready to understand who this whistleblower is and how this revelation is about to change your life? Are you ready to see the divine proof that confirms your calling, your purpose, and your unwavering worth in God's eyes? Chosen ones, I need you to stay with me until the very end of this video. This isn't just about feeling better. This is about staying awake and aware on your spiritual journey. This truth is the ammunition you need to fight the good fight, to reclaim your peace, and to walk in the authority you were born with. You are not a mistake, you are not a fraud, and you are definitely not alone. It's time to stop letting the whispers of the enemy define your reality. Let's dive in. You know, there's a famous quote by the late, great Maya Angelou: "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." Well, chosen ones, the spiritual realm has been showing us who we are, and it's time we started believing it. This evidence isn't just a document, it's a divine declaration. Let's break down the 7 pieces of proof that confirm your innocence and your chosen status. Point 1. The evidence of your resilience. Let's be real. If you weren't chosen, you would have given up a long time ago. Think about all the storms you've weathered, the betrayals that cut deeper than 1,000 knives, the opportunities that slammed shut just when you thought you had momentum, and the silent prayers that went unanswered for what felt like eternity. Most people, ordinary people, would have thrown in the towel. They'd have curled up in the comfort of routine, binged a lifetime supply of Netflix and called it a day. But not you. No, you are different. Your resilience, your relentless drive to rise every single time you fall is not merely a personality trait. It's a divine signature, a mark placed upon you by forces greater than this earthly existence. History, in fact, is littered with examples of such resilience. Think of Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, emerging not with bitterness, but with a vision to unite a fractured nation. Or Malala Yousafzai, shot for standing up for education, yet refusing to be silenced. These are not just stories of courage, they are reflections of what it looks like when someone is chosen to endure, to transcend ordinary limits, and to fulfill a purpose that shakes the world. And just like them, you carry a unique blueprint. Every betrayal you survived, every closed door, every sleepless night spent praying in silence, it was all shaping you, forging an unbreakable spirit. What makes someone chosen is not the absence of hardship, but the mastery of it. Science even backs this up. Research on post-traumatic growth shows that individuals who endure extreme challenges can develop higher levels of empathy, intuition, and resilience. In other words, your life's trials aren't random. They are calibration points, fine-tuning you for something far bigger than yourself. While the world sees setbacks, a chosen one sees preparation. Every time life tried to break you, it was actually revealing the depths of your inner power, teaching you to harness it, to rise smarter, stronger, and more attuned to your destiny. There's a reason why chosen ones often feel different, even misunderstood. You notice patterns, sense undercurrents, and act with a clarity that others lack. That gut feeling isn't coincidence. It's your internal compass, honed by both divine guidance and the hard-earned lessons of your journey. Every time you felt alone, it was an opportunity to strengthen your connection to something higher, something beyond ordinary comprehension. Even your struggles are coded messages from the universe. Keep going. You are built to accomplish more than you think. Your path is unique, your mission divine. And here's the most fascinating part. The more you endure, the more your life begins to radiate impact. Every act of patience, every moment of persistence, and every time you've chosen courage over comfort, you've been writing a story that others will one day look at and call miraculous. People will see what seems like mere survival, but it's actually transformation, a metamorphosis only possible for those chosen to fulfill a higher calling. The storms were never meant to defeat you. They were meant to shape you into a vessel capable of extraordinary influence, a living testament to what happens when divine purpose meets unyielding human spirit. So remember this, your resilience is not a random quirk of personality. It is a divine fingerprint, a mark of distinction, evidence that you were born for this. The universe isn't asking if you can survive, it's proving that you already can. And because you keep rising, keep persevering, and keep moving forward despite every obstacle, you are unmistakably, undeniably a chosen one. Your story is not just about surviving, it is about awakening, transforming, and leaving a mark on the world that will echo long after the storms have passed. Point 2, the evidence of your isolated calling. This one can be a real pain, but it's pure gold in the spiritual courtroom. Have you ever felt like you just don't fit in, like the world is spinning in one direction and you're being quietly nudged to go the opposite way? Maybe you've walked into a room full of people only to realize their energy feels foreign, their conversations shallow, or their values misaligned with yours. That feeling isn't a coincidence, it's a spiritual signature, a subtle yet unmistakable mark that you are operating on a frequency higher than the crowd around you. Many who are chosen experience this disconnect, often in subtle ways. Friends drift away, opportunities vanish, or family dynamics shift because you refuse to bend, compromise, or dilute your integrity. And while this can feel lonely, it is far from a curse. In fact, it's one of the clearest indicators that you are being prepared for a destiny that few can comprehend. The spiritual realm has a way of protecting those it has selected. Just as a master sculptor separates the block of marble from the rough stone before revealing the masterpiece within, God isolates his chosen ones to shape them, strengthen them, and prepare them for a mission that will impact the world in ways ordinary vision cannot predict. You see, the universe cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. New ideas, new energy, and new purpose require a vessel ready to hold them. And often that vessel is you, uniquely designed with spiritual DNA that aligns with destiny, not conformity. Every time you feel out of step, remember, it is not punishment but preparation. The very things that make you feel different, your heightened sensitivity, your uncanny intuition, your refusal to compromise, are the tools that will define your influence. Think about it this way, the chosen path is rarely the easiest. Historical and spiritual texts are full of examples of individuals who were isolated, misunderstood, or even persecuted because they followed a higher calling. Moses spent 40 years in the desert. Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, and even Jesus faced rejection from his own people. Their isolation wasn't a reflection of failure, but a crucible of refinement. When you experience social rejection or personal loss, it is not a sign that you are unworthy. Rather, it is the universe creating the space you need to grow, to understand your purpose, and to receive the wisdom necessary to fulfill your mission. The pain you endure in these moments becomes the foundation upon which extraordinary influence and spiritual authority are built. Moreover, this separation cultivates discernment. When the world is noisy, distraction is constant, and opinions are endless, the chosen learn to listen, not just with ears, but with their soul. You become attuned to subtle signals, a gut feeling that prevents disaster, an inexplicable pull toward an opportunity, or even a quiet nudge to step away from people and situations that do not serve your higher purpose. This inner compass, honed through solitude and spiritual alignment, becomes your most valuable guide. You may not yet see the full picture, but trust that the divine map is already in your hands. So embrace the isolation. Cherish the moments when you feel out of place. These are not voids. They are sacred spaces where God prepares you, shields you, and equips you with the tools to execute your unique mission. The world may call it loneliness, but the spiritual realm recognizes it as a divine do not disturb sign. Your uniqueness, your resistance to compromise, your spiritual sensitivity, all of it is proof you are chosen, and the universe is quietly clearing the path for what only you can accomplish. Point 3, the evidence of your magnetic attraction to truth. This is where the plot thickens. You, chosen one, are allergic to BS, aren't you? It's not just a quirk, it's a signal, a divine fingerprint embedded in your very essence. While others might be lulled by sugar-coated promises, fake smiles, or hollow speeches, your spirit recoils instinctively. You sense the vibration of authenticity versus pretense, almost like a finely tuned radar that picks up on falsehoods before words even form. Scientists have long studied this phenomenon. Research in psychology shows that humans can often detect micro-expressions, subtle cues in tone and body language that betray insincerity. But for you, it's more than biology. It's spiritual intuition, a sacred attunement that whispers the truth even when the world shouts lies. When someone speaks to you, you can tell if their words carry weight or if they're hollow echoes bouncing off the walls of their own ego. Motivational speeches, self-help seminars, even friendly advice. You know instantly when it's fluff and when it's gold. This rare ability isn't arrogance, it's evidence of your alignment with a higher order. Think of it like tuning into a frequency most cannot hear. While the masses absorb noise as wisdom, you filter through the static, searching for the signals that resonate with eternal truth. Ancient mystics and philosophers often describe this as the discernment of the soul, a trait that separates those who wander aimlessly from those who walk with purpose. Your hunger for authenticity is insatiable. You don't just want information, you crave understanding. You aren't satisfied with surface-level truths or temporary comfort. Neuroscience today reveals something fascinating. Humans are wired to respond deeply to stories and experiences that evoke genuine emotion. Your brain, your spirit, and your very consciousness thrive on depth and reality. You seek conversations, teachings, and experiences that awaken something profound within you. Shallow interactions leave you restless. True wisdom, even when challenging, invigorates you. It fuels your growth and deepens your connection to the universe. And here's the most compelling part. This isn't random. This heightened sensitivity, this spiritual alarm system against deceit, is evidence of divine alignment. Your essence is attuned to the eternal, the unshakable, and the ultimate truth. Every lie you detect, every insincere gesture you sidestep, is a reminder that your soul refuses to settle for anything less than reality. Like a homing beacon, you are constantly pulled toward authenticity because your identity is rooted in the divine. You were never meant to be swayed by superficiality. Your path requires clarity, precision, and discernment. Being allergic to BS also means you carry a responsibility. The world is full of illusions, and those who can see through them, like you, serve as guides, catalysts, and awakeners. You are here to challenge mediocrity, to demand honesty, and to inspire integrity. Your presence alone shifts the energy around you. People might not always understand why you reject the fake or why you dig deeper when others rest, but your commitment to the real forms a ripple effect that touches even the unconscious. So, chosen one, embrace this gift. Revel in your ability to see beyond the surface. Let your hunger for genuine connection guide you. In a world of mirrors and masks, your spirit is a lighthouse, a rare compass pointing not to popularity or convenience, but to the ultimate truth. And remember, this is your superpower. Your allergy to deceit, your innate wisdom, and your unwavering pursuit of authenticity are proof that you were born to navigate life with clarity, purpose, and a touch of divine destiny. Point 4. The evidence of your divine dissatisfaction. Let's get real for a second. The world throws a dazzling array of distractions at us, glittering screens, loud voices promising instant gratification, and the illusion that wealth, fame, or fleeting pleasures can fill the hollow spaces within. But if you've been paying attention, you've probably noticed a curious pattern. Even when you get a taste of these things, the satisfaction is fleeting. There's a subtle emptiness, a whisper in the back of your mind that there must be more. That whisper isn't a flaw in your character, it's a divine signal. It's a spiritual alarm clock ringing loudly in a world that is deafened by noise. It tells you something crucial about yourself. Your soul was never meant to settle for the temporary. It was crafted for something eternal, something profound. History and science alike hint at this truth. Neuroscience shows that the human brain is wired for novelty and reward. Dopamine spikes with pleasure, but it also adapts quickly. That means our worldly achievements, the money, the fame, the power, provide a surge of satisfaction, but it fades, leaving an unmistakable void. Philosophers from Socrates to Kierkegaard have described this same existential hunger. Socrates called it the pursuit of the good life, something beyond the superficial. Kierkegaard referred to the restlessness that pushes a soul to seek meaning beyond the mundane. Even evolution itself nudges us toward growth and purpose, not stagnation. This longing is not a defect, it's a compass. It is the universe, through your own heart, reminding you that you are destined for more, that gnawing dissatisfaction you feel. It's not punishment, it's purpose in disguise. It's proof that your spirit is too vast for a small, complacent life. Your heart is built to beat in rhythm with a higher calling, a life that transcends the predictable cycle of consumption and distraction. Every time you feel that pull, that restless tug towards something bigger, recognize it as a sacred invitation. Your life is not about accumulating temporary thrills. It's about aligning with the eternal. It's about discovering the divine blueprint encoded in your soul, the unique gifts, talents, and calling that only you can fulfill. Even the mystics understood this. Rumi wrote that we are just walking each other home, a metaphor for the journey toward God and truth. Your discontent, your sense of being unfulfilled is like a hand on your shoulder, guiding you toward that home. And this isn't just poetic, it's practical. When you start pursuing what truly resonates with your soul, rather than what society markets as success, you find clarity, peace, and real joy. Life stops feeling like a series of empty acquisitions and starts feeling like a pilgrimage, a purposeful quest that honors your divine design. So when the world tempts you with shiny illusions, don't be fooled. Listen instead to that inner alarm clock. That sense of dissatisfaction is sacred. It's your soul declaring that you were made for more than the temporary, more than the superficial, more than what fades. It's a call to awaken to your destiny, to recognize that your true home and purpose are found in God. Your soul's vastness demands it, and your heart, your very essence, knows it. That divine discontent is not a curse, it is your secret key to a life that is not only meaningful, but eternally impactful. In that awareness, you are not lost, you are chosen. Point 5. The evidence of the enemy's targeted attacks. Here's a spiritual truth that flips conventional thinking on its head. The more you face attacks, the more powerful and significant you truly are. It's a paradox that the world rarely teaches, but it's deeply rooted in spiritual law and ancient wisdom. Consider it, the forces of darkness do not expend energy on those who are complacent, mediocre, or spiritually dormant. The devil doesn't waste time on people who are already aligned with his schemes. He only targets those who carry a spark of light, those who are a real threat to his kingdom of fear, doubt, and despair. This means that if you've experienced relentless setbacks, unexplained illnesses, or even attacks on your character, it is not a reflection of your failure. It is a declaration of your spiritual potential. You're being singled out because you matter, because you are standing on a higher plane than most, whether you feel it or not. History and scripture are filled with examples of this principle in action. Think of Moses, who faced Pharaoh's wrath and the skepticism of his own people, or Jesus, who was opposed at every turn by the religious elite. Their opposition was not a sign that they were weak. It was proof that they were operating on a level that threatened the status quo. Even in the modern world, spiritual warriors often encounter what seems like disproportionate resistance. Unexplained financial setbacks, toxic relationships, or emotional battles are often not random misfortunes. They are markers indicating that you are on a path of purpose. In essence, the more you are opposed, the more you have been identified as a high-value asset in the divine plan. Psychologically, facing constant opposition also shapes resilience and fortitude. Neuroscience shows that adversity, when met with awareness and faith, actually strengthens neural pathways associated with problem-solving, emotional regulation, and perseverance. Spiritually, it is no different. Every time you rise above a challenge, every time you maintain integrity in the face of slander, you're aligning with higher frequencies of consciousness and power. This alignment naturally provokes resistance because forces that oppose progress are threatened by those who refuse to bend. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to attract more attacks than others, it is not random. It is precisely because their light is stronger, more visible, and harder to suppress. There is also a practical aspect to understanding this. Perspective shifts everything. Instead of seeing attacks as curses or punishments, see them as confirmations of your spiritual value. Every obstacle becomes a badge of honor, every setback a signal that you are on the right path. This is why mystics, prophets, and enlightened beings often speak of trials as blessings in disguise. The universe, or God, is effectively saying, I see you. You are important. Keep going. Your strength is not defined by the absence of struggle, but by your ability to stand firm while the storms rage around you. So if you have been targeted, if life feels heavy with inexplicable burdens, take heart. You are being noticed because you are a threat to darkness and a vessel for divine purpose. The attacks are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to refine, elevate, and prepare you for the impact you are destined to make. In this way, every trial, every setback, and every confrontation is a spiritual mirror reflecting your true power back to you. You are not a victim, you are a chosen force. And the more you are challenged, the more undeniable your light becomes in a world that desperately needs it. This is the paradoxical glory of spiritual warfare. The attacks do not diminish you, they define you. They are proof that you are not ordinary, that your mission is real, and that your existence is a threat to forces that thrive on darkness. In the grand tapestry of life, being under fire is not a curse. It is a confirmation that you are already winning. Point 6, the evidence of your empathy and compassion. Chosen ones, your sensitivity is not an accident. It is a divine signature that sets you apart from the crowd. While many move through life numbed by distractions, you are finely tuned to the unseen rhythms of existence. When a stranger on the street hides their anguish behind a brave face, or when a loved one laughs to cover an aching heart, you feel it. Even when entire communities on the other side of the world endure hardship, something in your spirit stirs as if their cries are carried to you on an invisible current. This is not imagination. It is what modern science calls heightened empathy, and it has roots in the fascinating discovery of mirror neurons. Neuroscientists found that these specialized brain cells allow humans to reflect and feel the emotions of others, almost as if we are living them ourselves. But for the chosen ones, this mechanism is amplified, acting like a spiritual antenna that translates the invisible language of emotion into compassion, intuition, and sometimes even prophetic awareness. Yet this gift, as luminous as it appears, can feel overwhelming. You often carry invisible burdens, weight that does not belong to you, yet presses heavily upon your heart. You may ask yourself, why do I feel so deeply about things that don't directly involve me? The truth is, your soul has been entrusted with a sacred responsibility. This sensitivity is not weakness, but a mark of divine purpose. In the Bible, Jesus himself was described as one who was moved with compassion, and through his empathy, miracles were released. Your heart is designed in a similar way, wired to receive the whispers of heaven and reflect them into the world as acts of love, mercy, and healing. When others dismiss compassion as soft or impractical, you understand that it is, in fact, the most powerful force for transformation because it comes from God himself. History bears witness to this truth. Many of the world's most impactful figures were individuals whose sensitivity became their strength. St. Francis of Assisi, moved by the suffering of the poor, devoted his life to service and inspired generations. Mother Teresa's profound empathy for the sick and forgotten led her to create sanctuaries of love in places of despair. Even great social reformers like Martin Luther King Jr. carried an almost unbearable sensitivity to injustice which fueled their courage to stand against oppression. These individuals remind us that true change does not always begin with strategy or intellect, but with a heart that feels the world's pain deeply enough to act. Likewise, you may not always heal through dramatic or visible deeds, but even your quietest gestures, listening without judgment, offering encouragement, or simply being present, carry immeasurable weight. Compassion often works like ripples on water. You may never see the full extent of the transformation you ignite, but heaven records it all. The paradox is that what feels like vulnerability in you is actually sacred strength. In a world that often numbs itself with materialism, noise, and indifference, your sensitivity is proof that the soul still speaks. Every tear you shed, every ache of your heart, and every wave of empathy you feel is not wasted. It is evidence of your alignment with divine truth. Scripture tells us in Ezekiel 36:26 that God gives us a new heart and a new spirit. That heart, tender and responsive, is precisely what you carry. It is a living compass guiding you toward God's will and reflecting His love wherever you go. To embrace your sensitivity is to embrace your calling, for it is through this gift that you become a vessel of grace, an agent of healing, and a beacon of hope to those who have forgotten what love feels like. So, chosen one, do not mistake your empathy for fragility. See it instead as your greatest weapon in a world desperate for light. Your ability to feel deeply makes you a carrier of divine wisdom. It enables you to walk into darkness and radiate understanding where others only see despair. Each act of compassion, no matter how small, carries eternal weight. You're not just feeling for others, you're feeling with God, and that alignment is the highest privilege. Never underestimate the power of your presence, your words, or your tears. They are instruments of heaven, shaping lives in ways you may never fully comprehend. And that is the beauty of your gift. You are not only chosen to feel, but also chosen to heal. Point 7, the evidence of divine intervention and favor. Let's dive into those so-called lucky breaks, those moments when life seems to bend in your favor with almost supernatural precision. Maybe it was a phone call that arrived at the exact right time, the sudden appearance of someone who had precisely what you needed, or a door opening just when you thought every option had slammed shut. Science might categorize these events under the banner of serendipity or probability, pointing out that given enough time and interactions, remarkable coincidences are bound to occur. Yet if you pay close attention, there's often a pattern hidden in plain sight, one that feels less like random chance and more like deliberate design. Psychologists note that the human brain is wired to spot coincidences, a survival mechanism that has helped us connect dots and predict outcomes throughout history. Still, even they admit that meaningful coincidences often align so perfectly with personal needs, intentions, or prayers that they seem almost too precise to dismiss as accidental. From a spiritual lens, these moments are rarely seen as accidents at all. They are perceived as divine interventions, as if an unseen intelligence is gently reshuffling the pieces of your life so you remain on the path destined for you. When you reflect on history, you'll find countless examples of these timely interventions. Consider how Winston Churchill survived multiple close brushes with death before rising to lead Britain through World War II, or how Thomas Edison stumbled upon crucial discoveries after what appeared to be chance encounters and failures. Even great thinkers like Carl Jung explored the phenomenon of synchronicity, the idea that events can be meaningfully connected without any direct cause and effect link. These aren't merely romanticized stories of fate. They illustrate a larger truth that moments of luck often serve as catalysts for destiny. On a personal scale, it might be the job you landed because someone casually mentioned an opening, the stranger who gave you advice that altered your entire perspective, or the last-minute decision that saved you from disaster. Each of these can be viewed as whispers of guidance, suggesting you are part of a larger narrative beyond your own making. For those who identify as chosen ones, these interventions carry an even deeper weight. They are not random blessings, but markers of divine favor, a signal that you are under the watchful eye of something greater than yourself. Theologically, many traditions speak of divine providence, the belief that God actively sustains and directs creation with purpose and care. This idea transcends mere luck. It suggests intentionality in every rescue, every opportunity, and every redirection you encounter. From near misses on the highway to miraculous financial provision, these events testify that your journey is being safeguarded. They are cosmic reminders that your existence holds significance in realms you cannot see, affirming that you are both guided and protected. So the next time you encounter what feels like a stroke of luck, pause and recognize it as more than coincidence. It is a coded message from the divine, a subtle whisper declaring that you are not forgotten, your steps are being ordered, and your destiny is unfolding with precision. Every perfectly timed event is evidence of your worth, your calling, and your undeniable connection to the hand that shapes universes. So, chosen ones, the evidence has been laid out. The high-level whistleblower, the Holy Spirit, has testified on your behalf. You are not a mistake, you are not a disappointment, you are not a fraud. The world may have tried to frame you, to put you on trial for a purpose you never asked for, but the divine record is clear. You are innocent, you are loved, and you are on a mission. It's time to stop listening to the accusers and start walking in the freedom of your true identity. Take this truth and let it fuel your fire. Use it to silence the doubts, to push past the fears, and to step into the powerful, purpose-filled life you were always meant to live. The verdict is in, and it's a resounding not guilty. Now go live like it.